So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna open, it's fairly normal. I get a decent reaction. I say, you're very short, and she qualifies herself a little bit on being short, but it's just kind of like flirty and light, right? And then she says this sentence. She says, actually, I'm 5'4", that's average height for an American woman, okay? Seems like a pretty innocuous sentence. You wouldn't read a lot into that sentence, right? But I've been doing this for a really long time, and I've talked to a lot of girls, and I'm very good at profiling. Okay, so let's look at that sentence right now. What does that mean? Actually, why are the lights coming down? Actually, I'm 5'4", that's average height for an American woman. Okay, first of all, actually, she's justifying herself, okay? She is justifying herself, she likes to fit in. She's saying average as though it's a good thing. She's saying, I'm actually average, I'm not below average, I fit in. That's number one. Average height for an American woman, as opposed to just saying that's normal height, or that's average, or something like that, or that's not short, right? What does that mean? That means she's somewhat educated, right? She's somewhat educated, she is articulate, she probably, this is in Boston, I'm assuming she goes to a college, possibly a very good one, something like that, okay? And so she's deriving value from fitting in, and she's deriving value from being educated. So now, the rest is gonna be extrapolation, but I'm gonna make some pretty good guesses. Next guess, she probably did well in school, okay? She probably did relatively well in school, because if she is fitting in and she enjoys that, and is deriving value from it, it means probably within the scope of fitting in, doing the standard things that she was asked to do from her teachers growing up, she probably did well in that realm, probably had some success in that realm and liked that success, okay? Also, the fact that she went to a good school means she probably had success academically at a younger age, all right? So this is a girl who likes to fit in, and within the realm of fitting in, within the realm of doing your typical go get a job, 9 to 5, et cetera, she has done well. So that's her source of validation. That's where she's like, she's gonna be like resume validation. She's like, I went to a good school, I have a good job, my life is taken care of, I weigh the requisite amount for my height, I am average height, you know what I mean? So she's that kind of girl, right? And so if I'm playing that game, I'm gonna have to compete with her on that game. And I actually probably can compete with her on that game. I went to a good school. I had sick SAT scores. I did all that kind of stuff. But I don't really want to, because she's been around all her life people that are competing with her on that game, and she's pretty good at that game. Instead, what I'd rather do is undermine that game. I'd rather actually like disavow that. I'd rather be unimpressed by the things she's gonna do to impress me and create a different game where I can win easily, okay? It's similar to, say you go into a nightclub, you walk up to a girl, like the hot girl in the nightclub. Within the realm of that nightclub, within the value system of that nightclub, that girl has more value than you, okay? Promoters in a good nightclub, promoters were paid money to bring that girl there, right? She's getting free drinks. She's bringing the other guys there. In a really good nightclub, she's the reason the guys are paying $10,000 for a table to be there, okay? Within that club, she has value, you don't. So if you accept the value system of that club, you have a massive uphill battle. Right? Not to say that you could never get that girl in that context, but you have a massive uphill battle. So why would you accept that frame that's not useful to you? Okay? This girl's frame is, if you got a good education, you went to a good school, you got a 9 to 5 job, you fit in and do a good job at what you do, you are like, that's value, right? Now me, I'm entrepreneurial, I travel around, I don't have a 9 to 5 job, I was a professional poker player and I worked for myself, and so I didn't fit into that. I did for a while, I actually almost went down that route, but I didn't. So I don't want to play that game with her. Right? And even if I did do that game, again, I don't want to play that game. It's easier not to. What's a better game? The better game is think for yourself. Don't just like take other people's validation, make it on your own. I don't want to know what you do for a job. I want to know what you love in life. Those kind of things, right? Like it's about who you are, not what your resume is. So I keep telling her like, fuck the resume. I don't care about your resume, right? And because of that, now she keeps trying to validate, and she's using this formula. She's like, this formula always got me validation in the past. Why is it not working? And the more it's not working, the harder she'll try and push it, right? And it makes her puts her in this loop of seeking my validation. Make sense? And it's all based on this one sentence. Now, this just happens to be one sentence that I picked out. This could happen early in a set, it could happen later in a set, it could happen to lesser or varying degrees in various sets. But what I'm trying to tell you here is understand the girl you're dealing with, okay? Understand the girl you're dealing with. And I'm not saying that you need to use this to like strip validation also. You can also use it to give validation. You can also use it to give her a good experience. But understand that every single person in the world has had a different subjective experience. Every single person had different parents, different teachers, different level of relative wealth growing up, played different sports, didn't play sports, did different activities, whatever, okay? Has had hardships, hasn't had hardships, whatever. They have a particular value system, and if you understand the proper way to work with that value system and the proper way not to, you're gonna be much more efficient than if you don't. Tiny.
I wore flats, so I'm totally flat tonight. So.
Said she's very short, right? I wore flats, she's justifying herself, etc.
I'm 5'4". It's average height for an American woman.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for that demographic statistic, I appreciate it.
It's true, it's exactly 50th percentile, so yeah.
If you're average, we're not gonna get along. Boom, okay. Thank you for that demographic statistic, I appreciate it. First of all, making fun of how much she has like her stick up her ass with her little pedantic definition, right? But secondly, this is a big one. If you're average in any way, we're not gonna get along, right? Well, just like completely undermine what she's saying. She said like, I'm average, I fit in as a good thing. Said if you're average in any way, we're not getting along, right? Like throw her through a loop. Now because she was trying to validate herself. That's why she said it in the first place, right? She's flustered, I'm not short, I'm average height. And so I took the thing that she's using to validate herself and took it away. And again, this should be used, it can be used for manipulative purposes, certainly, but it could also be used to effectively give a girl a good experience. So don't think it's always manipulative.
Well, I'm average height. I don't know what that means to you.
Nothing.
That was in high school.
So are you here often?
It's the worst pickup line I've ever heard, my dear.
What?
It's the worst pickup line
What
I've ever
is the
heard.
word pickup line?
Are you here often, really?
Oh, I didn't mean like...
I would do it later.
It's okay. It's okay if we like each other. Let's just like make sure it's not for completely superficial reasons, okay? And then occasionally you have to give her something back, right? If you just like pound on her, it's not so good. So you have to occasionally, like at that point you can tell she's nervous, she doesn't know what to say, she's flustered. So I'll give her a little bit of validation back. It's okay that we like each other. It's all right. This is acceptable, right? And because she wants the validation back so badly, she'll accept whatever the frame is.